Welcome to Using Groups and Cross-Listed Courses in Moodle. This is the next event in our mini Moodle workshop series that we're offering for the fall 2025 semester. My name is Becky Lascarbo, and I am the Educational Technology Administrator here at Elms College. Before we get started, I'd like to put in a plug for the remainder of our workshop series for this semester. They range from using groups and cross-listed courses, which we're speaking about today, to discussion forums, gradebook, and quizzes. I encourage you to sign up for each of these. They are in a format of 30 minutes total, 20 minutes presentation, and 10 minutes of Q&A. Finally, all of these presentations are being recorded and will be available for all faculty to view. So first, what is a cross-listed course? It is when two or more courses are linked together and taught out of a single Moodle shell. Oftentimes, this may be that a course is offered at the undergraduate and graduate level, or it could be that there are multiple sections of the same course taught by the same instructor. Cross-listing always originates in the registrar's office. So I do not do the cross-listing of courses. The registrar's office will approve it through your department. So please put in a request with them. Once they do the cross-listing process, that cross-listed course will be created within Moodle. All enrollments then are combined into that single Moodle course shell. You do not need to move enrollments from course to course, so no manual enrollments are required. So here's an example of what the cross-listed course might look like in Moodle. You will see that both sections, or 3 or sometimes even 4 sections, will all be listed within the course title. So we ask that this then is the course that you work out of. You assign this for students, and you keep the individual sections hidden because you will not need them. So the next question is, why should I be using groups in my course? Well, for one, it becomes easy to identify which assignments are for which students. For example, if you have undergraduate and graduate students in your course, you may have an assignment that is just for graduate students, an additional assignment that's only for undergrads, or you may want to have discussion forums that are just for one group and or the other. It will provide you quick access to know who is at what level and what section they are enrolled in without then having to go into Elms Connect and pulling rosters. Additionally, it'll allow Gradebook to disregard grade items that do not apply to everyone. Example, if for the graduate students, you want to be able to enter a grade for them, but not have it impact in any way, shape, or form your undergraduate students. There is also the option to message directly within groups. And I will again show you that. We're going to do a brief demonstration. And then group names are tied to assessments and will transfer during the import or backup restore process to any new courses. So if you teach a course in the fall semester and you have a group called undergraduates and a group called graduates, you teach that same cross-listed course in the spring, those groups will still exist. You'll have to enroll the students into the groups, but they will already be tied to the various assessments in your course. So now I'm going to take a brief moment to do a demonstration. So next I'm going to demonstrate the usage of groups, how to create them, and then how to tie them to assessments. So I am using my sample basket weaving course. So the first thing you would need to do is go to participants. And this will pull up your participant list within your course, including students, instructors, program coordinators, and the likes. So within this grouping of participants, you will see a column that's called groups. And right now, it says no groups because we haven't identified them yet. So what we're going to do now is create groups within this course. So you would click on the Enrolled Users dropdown and go to Groups. then we can create a group. So in this case, I'm going to call them undergraduates and graduates. You can name the groups anything you'd like, red, blue, purple, however you'd like. So I will say undergraduates. So first you have to create the group before you can add the students to it. Remember, in Moodle, anytime you see a question mark, it means that it will give you a little bit more information about something, and only anything that is in red is required. So for example, group membership visibility. So this says that everybody in the course can see what group everybody else is enrolled in. This is the default, but you can change it so that you can say that only the membership is available to the people that are in the group, or it's totally hidden and only the instructors can see. So it's up to you if you would like to change this setting or not. Group messaging, if you would like to be able to message within the group, you can do that. Keep in mind that if you would like the program coordinator or administrative assistant included in this messaging, or all instructors, you'll want to make sure that they're added to the groups as well. So we're just going to change this to yes. You can add a picture for the group if you'd like. It's not necessary. We're going to save the changes. And then I'm going to create another group called graduates. So we're going to view this course as an undergraduate graduate cross-listed course. Again, we're going to change this to yes, and we'll save changes. So now we see we have graduates and a 0 next to it, meaning there's no students in it, and undergraduates with a 0 next to it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add students that I know are graduate students to this course. So we'll click on it to highlight it, and then we're going to add or remove users. So I'm going to say that Big Bird and Oscar the Grouch are both graduate students. And then we're going to click add, and it will add them to the group. Now I would like to add undergraduate students. So I'm going to click back to groups. And now we can see there are 2 students enrolled in the graduate student group. Now I'm going to click on graduate students, add and remove students. Now keep in mind, someone can be enrolled in multiple groups. So as you can see, Big Bird and Oscar the Grouch are still available in this list. Just something that you'll need to be aware of when you're adding, so you don't unintentionally add someone to multiple groups when you don't mean to. So I am going to add Ryan, Cindy, and Alex to the undergraduate group. And now we'll go back to groups. So now you can see we have 2 groups with students in them. Now, if we go back to the participant list, you can see in the group column, it actually indicates who is a member of which group. This is a necessary process before you can then attach these groups to specific assignments. You can attach groups to any assessment that is graded. So, but today we're going to focus on assignments. The process is fairly identical in any type of assessment. So I'm now going to go back to my course page and find the assessment that I want to add the groups to. Okay. So you can see I have 2 assignments here, GR assignment number 1, UG assignment number 1. Take note of how I named these. And the reason why I did this is so that when these are in the grade book, it is very easy for you to identify which items are graduate, which items are undergraduate. And within the grade book itself, the group does not appear. So that's why I recommend naming the assessment in a way that is easy for you to identify. So in order to add a group to this assignment, to restrict it to it, and you can see when you hover over to the right, the little people appear, but it has a line through it, which means no groups. What we're going to do is we are going to edit the settings. and then you want to go down to restrict access. Let me please point out that you do not want to use group submission settings for this. Group submission settings is intended for if you have a group of students that are submitting maybe a project together and they're doing one submission for a group of, say, 4 students. That is what this is intended for. Instead, we're going to go to restrict access because we want to restrict the graduate assignment to only students that are in the graduate group. So we were going to add restriction. And then this restriction is going to be by group. And you can see we have the graduate and undergraduate groups that we just created. So we're going to choose graduate. And then we're going to save and return to course. So now over in the left-hand navigation, you can see that there is a little lock next to GR Assignment 1, which indicates that there's some form of restriction on it. So when we now go down to the assignment, it will now say not available unless you belong to graduate. So this is what students will see, okay? So an undergraduate student will not be able to submit into this assignment. So we're now going to do the same thing within the UG. And we will add this restriction under restrict access, add restriction, group, and undergraduates. Now, if you click add restriction, this does not save it. That will actually ask you to add another restriction. So instead, again, you want to save and return to course. Okay, so those are the fundamentals for adding groups and restrictions. Now I'm going to go into the gradebook to show you how I organize this to accommodate the groups. So we're going to go to gradebook setup. So I created, in this case, it's a very simple gradebook because this is a test course where assignments are worth 50% of the grade and tests are worth 50% of the grade. So you can clearly see in the gradebook that there's a graduate assignment and an undergraduate assignment. When a student accesses the gradebook, if they do not belong to the group, the item will not appear in their gradebook. So it will avoid confusion for them as well, which is another great reason to use groups. So because there are groups assigned to this, a grade that is not received will not go against the student's overall grade. So restrictions cannot be added at the category level within gradebook. So that is why it is always best to, if you can, put them in one group together. There are instances where, for example, the graduate assignment could be worth 10% of the grade, and the undergraduate assignment is only worth 5% of the grade. In a case like that, you would not want to have them within the same category because it would not total correctly. In a case like that, I'm just going to delete this category. In a case like that, what you would want to do is have them as standalone assignments within the gradebook that are not categorized, where you can then say graduate assignment is, I think I said 10% of the grade, and the undergraduate assignment is 5%. When you're totaling up your gradebook, typically you would look at all the weights and add them all up. When you are using groupings, you will need to remember that if things are weighted a little bit differently for undergrad and grad, that you will want to do 2 separate calculations to make sure the undergraduate assessments add up correctly to 100 and the graduate assessments correctly add up to 100. So that brings us to the end of this presentation. I encourage everyone, if you would like one-on-one assistance with this for some further information, to please contact me, and I'm always more than happy to schedule a one-on-one appointment with you. Thank you very much for your time today, and I encourage you to sign up for additional workshops. Thank you.